Actually, I never knew about Palestine before October 7th. And I'm really sad to say that because now that I'm learning more about the history and it's been going on for 75 years, like I'm shocked that I didn't know about it before October 7th. And
Mhm.
even the way I came to know about it on October 7th, it was like misinformation. Yeah, so the second moment that really like shocked me to the core was seeing a mother. She was holding her child and wrapped in the white shroud, and she's holding her child and talking to her child and like still thanking God at that moment, even though her child had passed, even though her child was murdered, you know? So that really affected me to a very deep level. And that's when I said to myself, I need to figure out how their faith is so strong. In this moment, how can they thank God? So at that moment, that's when I was inspired to open the Quran and start reading it. I had a copy of the Quran. I was gifted it maybe 2 years ago, but I never opened it. I was I was given it by a Muslim community where they're giving out free Qurans, and I never opened it. I don't know why, but I never opened it. And that day when I saw that video of the Palestinian mother, I opened it for the first time. And I will say the very first words I started reading, I literally had to stop reading, and I was like, this is incredible. This is exactly what I needed to hear.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. I'm Aisha Rosalie. I'm joined with Abby Hafiz.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for the invite.
I'm sure you guys have seen her because she's everywhere right now, like literally everywhere. Like I can't go on any social media without just like seeing your face.
Uh,
No, but it's good
yeah.
because the reason for it is good because mashallah, you converted to Islam during the what's going on in Gaza right now. And your story is so inspirational and you're inspiring so many people. So I'm so excited to like get deeper into this to find out like why it is that you became Muslim and how it is you're feeling. And yeah, I'm just super excited to ask you a million questions.
Thank you so much. And also, I just love your energy. Like, I can feel it.
Yeah, because I'm excited because like you just I've seen so many like little tidbits of like interviews and stuff, but I haven't seen like a
Mhm.
full like a long form interview. So there's so many I know
Yeah.
so many bits, but I don't know like the full story. So I'm just so excited to like actually find out, get deep into it.
Well, let's go, inshallah.
Inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. So I know you had a Christian upbringing, so let's delve into that a little bit. So
Mhm.
yeah, tell me about your upbringing.
Yeah, actually, I was raised Christian from birth. The church that I was raised in, you are like baptized as a baby. So I was like baptized as a baby and grew up Christian, going to church every weekend and then also like Bible school and going to church every Sunday. And I was like very much into my faith as a Christian. So even growing up, I went to college and I found my own like relationship with my faith at that time. So I went to a different church, but I was still very much Christian and still very much believed in my faith at that time.
Mashallah. That's good. It's nice to hear that you had like a good, strong faith upbringing. So did you
Mhm.
always believe in God, or was there ever points in your life where you didn't believe in God?
I would say that like anyone, I've had my struggles.
Huh.
There was a time where I had a very like dark moment in my life where I was deep into depression and this kind of stuff. And I really was questioning God at that point as a Christian. And I was questioning like, why am I here? How did you let me get to this point? And I really got close to almost losing my faith at that point. Um, but I kind of got back into my faith slowly, and I really focused in my faith at that time and reading the Bible and really getting to know my faith at a deeper level. So yeah, I had my struggles, but like anyone, we all have our struggles. So I think it helped me also to get more knowledgeable about my faith.
Mm. As a Muslim now, looking back at that time that you were going through that dark period, I mean, I've been through them as well,
Mhm.
so I know what it feels like, and I'm sure loads of people listening will know what that feels like. What advice would you give yourself now as a Muslim?
I would say that no matter what doubts or thoughts are coming through your mind, they're literally from shaitan. like like whatever people are saying around you that are discouraging you from your religion and your faith, it's from shaitan, and that's it. Like Allah is always there. Allah was always there. Even when I was Christian, I had that connection with Allah. I didn't know at the time how to make it stronger and how to connect at a deeper level, but I had that connection even when I was Christian. The same connection that I have now. But now I know how to connect and make that connection stronger.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Okay, so you ended up in Dubai. How did you end up in Dubai?
Yeah, so I ended up in Dubai because my husband is living here. It's kind of a crazy story how I got here, honestly. I just took a plane and came here, and I never moved back to US. My parents were shocked, and um, it was honestly a leap of faith, but it was also that soul feeling where the same soul pull that I had to become Muslim is the same feeling I had to come to Dubai and meet my
Mm,
husband and get married, and like the whole story started there,
MashaAllah.
Subhanallah.
Wait, did you come to Dubai on a holiday?
Yeah, it was initially a holiday, but then I just didn't go back. So I think that's what maybe shocked my mom to the level that she took a plane and came to Dubai to see me because she was like, "What happened? Why are you staying there?" Like, yeah, so it definitely shocked her.
MashaAllah. So so you first came to Dubai, so this is what I want to get. Why I want to understand why Dubai. Like, did you know your husband before you came, or did you
Yeah, yeah.
come? Okay,
Yeah, I
that
knew
makes
my
sense.
husband from before, so I came on vacation and I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet him. I'm gonna, but I just stayed and we got married really quickly after that. And yeah, that's how our story started.
MashaAllah, that leap of faith. It's,
hmm
some of the best moments in our lives happen from those leaps of faith.
Oh yeah, for sure.
MashaAllah. Okay, so let's move on to the Palestinians because this is what everyone's talking about right now. Obviously, is what's happening in Gaza, which is absolutely awful. You were inspired by the Palestinians, but first I want to know, were you always sympathetic towards the Palestinians, or is it something that came about after, like, October the 7th?
Actually, I never knew about Palestine before October 7th. And I'm really sad to say that because now that I'm learning more about the history and it's been going on for 75 years, like I'm shocked that I didn't know about it before October 7th. And
Mhm.
even the way I came to know about it on October 7th, it was like misinformation. Like the way I knew about it is, the news channels in US saying, like basically labeling Palestinians as violent and that they're attacking Israel, but really it's been going on for 75 years and I never knew that. So actually from that day, October 7th, I was initially shocked and I didn't know what to believe or who to believe. So I did my own research and I found out that it's been going on for a long, long time. Um, and that's when I immediately switched my viewpoints and I said, no, the Palestinian people are being oppressed, and like Israel is oppressing them and taking their land. And it just became very clear to me when I just did my own research and checked the history.
Mm. Do you, as somebody who supports Palestine now, do you ever have doubts that you're on the right side?
Definitely no. like not many things in life are black and white. Like this is right, this is wrong. But literally Palestine, it's so black and white. Like it's so obvious who is doing the wrong thing and who is doing the right thing here. Like literally, even if you look at the history, like from the very beginning, it was Israel who's taking and colonizing the land of the Palestinian people. Like
Mhm.
that's how it started. Like Israel keeps saying, like people they won't stop attacking us and we're just defending, and but you started it. Like you literally started it. Like
Yeah.
you're the one who's stealing their land. Like there are grandparents and great great grandparents of Palestinian people, and they have the keys to their home. They're very old keys. They have the keys to their home, and this is also a symbol to show, no, we've been here. This is our land. This is our home. This is our country, and you cannot take that from us. Like,
Mhm.
like that is so so powerful, and it's so important to remember that no, Israel is not the one who lived here first. They're the ones who are trying to steal people's homes and lands and lives.
Mm. Definitely, I agree. I mean, before I became Muslim, I didn't know anything about the cause either. So, like, don't feel guilty. Like, it's not your fault because I completely get that feeling. And I always I feel awkward saying it. I'm like, I didn't know about this. I'm sorry, but it's not our fault because we grew up in countries where the media is very like controlling about what we think and feel, and
Mhm. Yeah.
especially when it comes to this situation, there's a lot of misinformation and lies that goes around about the whole Israel-Palestine situation.
Yeah.
Um, something that something that affects me so much is when you go on Instagram and you see these videos of like kids being pulled out from rubble or mothers crying because their children have died. Subhanallah, like it just I always get emotional when I even think about it. Do you
Mhm.
remember seeing those kind of videos for the first time and like how that made you feel?
Yeah. Without getting too graphic, I will say a couple specific moments that really shocked me to the core was one of which the father who's carrying um, his children in bags, and when I say children, I mean like literally they have to be carried in a bag, like bags. You know, everyone knows what I'm talking about, but um, that shocked me to the core. And I became very, very invested in learning what's happening in Palestine. And I became very hyper focused on what's happening in Palestine for the first time. Yeah, so the second moment that really like shocked me to the core was seeing a mother. She was holding her child and wrapped in the white shroud, and she's holding her child and talking to her child and like still thanking God at that moment, even though her child had passed, even though her child was murdered, you know? So that really affected me to a very deep level. And that's when I said to myself, I need to figure out how their faith is so strong. In this moment, how can they thank God? So at that moment, that's when I was inspired to open the Quran and start reading it. And subhanAllah, that started my journey.
Mm. It's like a superpower, right? Like being unmoved by the world and staying strong no matter what's going on, especially when you're going through insane difficulty that I can't even imagine. Still managing to stay strong and stay faithful. That's a superpower.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like seeing somebody, in my eyes, like seeing somebody fly or lift a car. You're like, how? Like, that's a superpower, honestly.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Mhm.
Um, do you do you remember picking up the Quran for the first time?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because I had a copy of the Quran. I was gifted it maybe 2 years ago, but I never opened it. I was I was given it by a Muslim community where they're giving out free Qurans, and I never opened it. I don't know why, but I never opened it. And that day when I saw that video of the Palestinian mother, I opened it for the first time. And I will say the very first words I started reading, I literally had to stop reading and I was like, this is incredible. This is exactly what I needed to hear. And I was literally looking for peace about what's happening in Palestine. I was looking for some kind of peace, some kind of hope because I felt hopeless. I felt helpless. I felt like, why are these people dying and I can't do anything about it? And why isn't God doing anything about it? And why is this happening? So when I opened the Quran, I felt peace for the first time in weeks, of seeing these children and seeing these families, husbands, wives dying. I felt peace finally, reading the Quran, because it was talking about these situations specifically. I remember hearing words in the Quran that were specifically addressing what's happening in Palestine, and that Allah sees everything, and that talking about the martyrs, and that they don't feel any pain, and that, all of these things, they were giving me so much peace, and it started to really connect to my soul at such a deep level.
Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. So when you're reading the Quran as a Christian, what was it about the Quran that made you, I guess, from a Christian perspective, right? Because you were already Christian, but you were picking up the religious book of Islam. Why was it when you were reading that book, you were like, oh, I feel more connected to this than my own book, pretty much?
Yeah, I would say that it felt like the Quran was speaking directly to me, and speaking directly to my need for peace, and specifically my need for peace about Palestine, what's happening in Palestine. So it was like like the exact situation I was in, the Quran was addressing it and giving me a solution for it. Like a solution to feel peace, and then it started answering my questions that I had as a Christian for many, many years, in the back of my mind. It started answering those questions in the first two surahs of the Quran.
Subhanallah. Actually, the first sentence that you said, where you just said that it was speaking to you, that just made me realize so many things, because I know in Christianity, like, you don't have that direct connection with God all the time. Like, there's a lot of like going through priests and things like that. Whereas in Islam, we're always like, we pray straight to God. We don't have to, like, you don't have to go to some imam or some sheikh. Like, if you're having a problem, you can just speak straight to God. There's that side of it. And also, like, obviously with the New Testament and the Old Testament, it's like somebody's interpretation of what Jesus did, whereas the Quran is from, it's a direct source. So it's like, in a way, that made so much sense. Even though I was never really Christian before, when you said that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because the Quran is speaking to you. Like, it is unchanged from the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gone straight through from God to Angel Jibril to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to us. There's no like all this, oh, this person said this person said this. It's like a very direct line. And we have that direct line to God as well, mashallah. Actually, I had like a huge realization when you said that. I was like, wow, that's so deep. Okay. Can you tell me about your Shahada then? So to change religions is a big deal. I did it 4 years ago, so I know how hard it is. What was your tipping point? And tell me about your Shahada moment.
Yeah, actually, I think I have two Shahada moments because I think I actually took my Shahada before I actually took my Shahada. So after reading the Quran for maybe a week or so, I had this really strong pull and this urge to try praying, the way Muslims pray. And then I said to myself, I was fighting with myself, like, you're a Christian, you can't try the way Muslims pray. That's so weird. Like, you're going to be going against your religion. But there was this strong pull, and I said, no, I have to try it. I can't resist this pull, this urge, because I literally felt like it was from God. So I looked up on Google how to do wudu. I did the wudu, and I followed an app on how to pray. And so I did the prayer, and at the end of the prayer, I literally started bawling. Like, I couldn't stop crying. I literally fell down, and I just was crying on my hands and my knees and my face. I was crying to Allah, and I literally felt Allah to the level that I never felt God's presence in my life like that before. Um, people are always saying like, you know, you need to feel God's presence, and you know, I never felt it until that moment. Now I know, yeah, this is God's presence, and this is what it feels like to have God with you. And I literally was crying, such a happy cry. Um, it's like I was letting go of 24 years of whatever bad thing had happened to me, whatever sin, whatever. Um, I just let go of everything from the last 24 years, and imagine how that weight must feel when it's lifted. Like, oof, I felt a level of peace that I was like, this is it. This is the most important thing in my life. This is it. And I literally sat up, and I quickly called my husband. Please take me to the mosque. I need to do my shahada now. But looking back, I think I actually took my shahada during that prayer, because my heart was open to Islam, and I felt that pull from God. And I realized that during the prayer, the daily prayer, you say the shahada within the prayer. So I'm like, I don't know, did I take it or did I not? That's up to debate. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I was Muslim at that point in my heart. But yeah.
Mashallah, yeah. I remember when I first became Muslim and I took my Shahada, and I remember a couple of days later I was thinking to myself, I've been praying. Isn't this the same thing? Like, haven't I been saying this already? I had that
Yeah.
exact same realization. I still don't
Mhm.
know what the Islamic ruling is on that, but I remember having the same realization as you.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Wow. So you went to the mosque, you took your Shahada. Did you take it in front of like a group of people, or was it just like you, your husband? How did it work?
Actually, I didn't go to the mosque. I did it at the Islamic Center here in Dubai. And
Okay.
it was literally just me, my husband, and one sheikh or imam. I'm not sure exactly what it's the name is. But yeah, literally just that. So simple. And I just said my shahada after them. They told me the words. I said it. And we also said it in English so that I know the meaning. And yeah, that was it.
Mashallah. So you have a very active social media page where you're promoting one, your conversion to Islam, and two, the fight for freedom in Palestine. Were you using social media before then? And if you were, like, what was your content? What were you doing?
Mhm. Yeah, I will say that a long time ago, maybe like 2 years ago, I was a fitness model on Instagram, and you know, I was doing all that. I was very much into the body image, and what do I look like to people, and how can I get more likes, more views, you know, just trying to get the fame and that social validation. And after I met my husband, I just left all of that. I made my accounts private. I deleted everything, um, because that version of me, it wasn't me anymore. And
Mm.
I didn't like that my worth was being validated based on my looks. So
Mm.
even 2 years ago, I had that feeling, and I left all of that behind. And I said, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to post. I don't want to be an influencer anymore. And subhanallah, yeah, I'm an influencer again, but a different way. Um, subhanallah, Allah plans. And literally, when I posted the first video where I was reading the Quran, I think I maybe had like 100 followers on TikTok who were just like close family and friends, and that's it. And somehow the video blew up. People resonated with it. People were connecting with what I was saying, and it honestly shocked me and scared me at the same time, because I didn't want to be famous. I didn't really expect that kind of reaction to what I had to say. And I was just so excited to share with anyone who would hear me what I had to say, because it was just so important to me to share that message of what I learned from the Quran, and just subhanallah, subhanallah. And now as a Muslim influencer and sharing Islam through my posts, I have more followers than I did back then, as a fitness model. So subhanallah, Allah plans, and the plan that Allah has is always better than our plan.
Mm. Why do you think that your content now is more important than the content that you were doing before?
Yeah, the content I was doing before, it was all about me. It was all about me, and it was so shallow and surface level. In my mind at that time, I was empowering women. You can show your body if you want. You can, you look beautiful for you. It's not about men's reaction. It's about you being able to do whatever you want. This is empowering. And after a while, I didn't see it that way anymore. I felt like people were looking at me like a piece of meat, and
Mm.
I didn't like that my worth was being calculated based on likes and comments and views.
Mhm.
So now that I'm posting, I literally have like, I don't even know how many followers anymore, but on Instagram maybe like 90,000 followers, and I literally, that was not my goal. My goal was literally only to share about Islam and to show people the truth and the beauty of Islam. That's it. That's always been my goal, and that will continue to be my goal, inshallah. But the thing is, my purpose now, it's not about me. It's
Mm.
so much bigger than me, and it's to show other people the beauty of Islam, and it's to show people who maybe they didn't know about Islam before. Maybe they're stuck in a dark place. They need some hope. They need a purpose. Um, and maybe they need to know about Islam, and maybe I'm going to be the one to introduce that to them.
Mhm.
Um, and inshallah, that will happen.
MashaAllah. What is one Islamic teaching in your life that you have that you can never live without now?
I will say the prayers, the five
Mhm.
prayers. Actually, I can feel the difference in my heart when I'm good in my prayers and when I'm not good in my prayers. Like if I miss a prayer, I start feeling really bad, anxious, or like, some doubts or thoughts will come into my mind about different things in my life. I'm like, why am I feeling so terrible? Then I'm like, oh, I miss my prayer. Okay, that makes sense now. Like to it, like they're connecting, the reason is connecting now. So like when I'm praying, it's like reconnecting to Allah throughout the day, and it's giving me so much purpose, because how can I feel hopeless when literally the creator of the universe is asking to meet with me 5 times a day? Like subhanallah, we can't lose our purpose when literally like the creator of the universe is calling us to him 5 times a day, and he wants to meet with us. Like who are we to meet with the creator of the universe? But subhanallah, he's the one who wants to. So yeah, it's really amazing. And I feel like even if my day is terrible and like everything goes wrong, if I just have my prayers, like there's
Mm.
still peace in my heart.
100%. There are so many benefits to praying 5 times a day, and I think for me,
Mhm.
like that's why Islam stands out so much, is because it's one of the only religions that forces you. I don't know any other religion that does this actually. That forces you every single day, not just once, 5 times a day, to
Mhm.
turn to Allah, and it's saying like God created us. He knows what we're like. He
Yeah.
knows how quickly we can get lost. And he's saying, look, if you don't turn to me 5 times a day, you are going to get lost somewhere in this
Mhm.
world. You're going to get lost in your head. You're going to get lost in the craziness of the dunya. You have
Yeah.
to turn to me 5 times a day, no matter what's going on, no matter if you're going through a trauma, no matter if you're having the best day of your life. You need to turn to me Otherwise, you're just not going to cope. And that's so true. It's so true.
Yeah,
And it is like
yeah.
a form of meditation as well. So, there's so many benefits. And then people say it's really good for building self-control. If you can pray 5 times a day consistently for years and years, you're building great habits, great ability to control yourself. Yeah, there were just like so many benefits of praying, seriously. Do you have a message that you want to give to the Muslims out there who are like really excited for your journey?
I will say, first of all, to the Muslims that have been supporting me, thank you so much. And I just really appreciate the community. I appreciate everyone like making me as their sister in this ummah. And I never felt this feeling of community and just feeling like I'm home. Like I feel like I'm home. And I feel like I've been searching for this place for 24 years, and I finally found it here in Islam.
MashaAllah. Do you have a message for the people out there who are Muslim, who are perhaps being a little bit too pushy or judgmental on your journey?
Yeah, the haram police. um, I will say that I know the people who are giving the advice to new Muslims, to new reverts, they may be doing it out of a place of sincerity. They may actually be trying to advise and to help someone on their journey. But I will say that if we push all of the new rules and regulations on new Muslims, they're just going to get scared and they're going to feel overwhelmed. They're going to feel helpless. For me, how I've been successful in my own faith is focusing first on my connection with Allah, and not focusing on what anyone else says about my faith and my journey. And even though I'm not perfect, and I may not look like the perfect Muslim, I'm on my own journey with Allah, and that's what matters. Even if you're not doing everything perfectly, if you have that connection, you're golden, because eventually you're going to grow, you're going to every day get better because you're with Allah. So that's the key. That's it. Just keep it simple and just stick with Allah. That's it.
MashaAllah. I think we often forget that the Quran was revealed over 20 years. So these rulings, it took 20 years to implement them. So sometimes the people who are new Muslim, it's like, hey, all these rules, like very quickly, it's a bit hard.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll ask you is, what do you want to say to the people of Palestine who might be watching this?
hmm I will say that just know that Allah has not forgotten about you. Allah sees everything that's happening, and Allah sees the hardship. Allah sees what's in your heart, and just know that Allah has not forgotten about you, and neither have we. Neither have we Muslims, and neither have all the other people in the world. We are all with you, and we are praying for you. No matter what our religion is, we're praying for you. I know a lot of people in other religions, they're also praying for you. So yeah, just know that Allah, inshallah, will give you the freedom, and will give you peace and give you love, and because that's your birthright. So inshallah.
MashaAllah, amazing message and super inspirational interview. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. If you guys want to check out more of her content, we've got the TikTok and the Instagram linked I'm going to put it in the comments and the description, so you guys can choose where you want to find the link. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Salam.